Hey guys, welcome to the Whimsical Workshop. I have a very special unboxing for you today. Yay! We are going to be unboxing a box called Artful. This is an art supply box that comes from England. I have been getting these boxes, I think for a whole year, maybe a year and a half. It is a box that comes out quarterly, so you're only going to get 4 boxes out of the year. They are about $50 a box. It does come from the UK, so there is sometimes some shipping delays, so don't be like on your calendar expecting it. But I have had a lot of fun with these, and I thought you might be interested in seeing what's inside. I do have another year of these coming. Last year we got, let me think here. The first one was using pen and ink. The second one was gouache paint. Gouache is an opaque paint that acts like a watercolor. The third one was silk screening, which I have yet to do the video on. I haven't touched it, and I want to show you guys how to do it because we can silk screen on bags and fabric, and you know, it's a little more of a crossover for quilters as and general crafters. So I am excited. That is one, but it's kind of messy, so I may move all my gear outside and do one outside. And I happen to live in Arizona, so I don't have to wait till summer. And then the last one of the year is this guy right here, and it is all about alcohol markers. I have a degree in industrial design and spent most of my college years working with alcohol markers to design my portfolio, to create an industrial designer as a product development person. So whenever I designed something, I had to do marker renderings of all the projects. So I, in my past, was very experienced with alcohol markers. I love having them. I have a whole wall of them, which when I do the studio tour, you'll see. But this box is alcohol markers, so I thought it'd be the first one to unbox for you guys. So, because they are quarterly, they are chocked full of stuff. And they're heavy. And then they do like, what do you call it? A companion box. So, oh, color pencils. That was another one I got from them. So, and watercolors. So I guess I've done 6. The watercolors had a companion box you could purchase that had additional watercolors. The color pencil one had a whole set of color pencils of mostly bright colors, but then they had like, I think it was a neutral set for the basics. So they do continue to support it. Another wonderful thing about these boxes is that you will find out maybe a month before it drops. They send out an email and say, hey guys, if you want to know what's in your box, click here. They send out an email about a month ahead and they say, hey guys, you want to know what's in your box? If you do, click here, and which I do. And if it's in this art supply that does not interest you and you have no desire, you can either skip it or you can pick an older box that maybe you didn't get because you just started doing it. I think there's only 3 boxes that they still have on there that I don't have, but so far I've liked every box that I'm going to get, so I have not switched it. And I really liked the fact that you do get that option, so you're not paying, I mean, it is about, it changes with the pound versus the dollar, but it is about a $50 a month, it's about a $50 a quarter box, but again, there's a lot in it. All right, so let's see. This has been sitting here for a little while, and I have not opened it. This was the September box, but it didn't come till the end of October, and now it's the middle of December for me to shoot this. Their postal service in the UK went on strike. They had trouble getting the supplies in the box, so this box was very, very late. I guess I would say that's kind of a negative, but at the same point, it's really not in their control if the postal service goes on strike or if the items in the box don't show up, especially in this world. We're getting better, but it's still hard to get some stuff. So this was also considered Best Buy of Independent Service in 2021. It has only been around for about 2 years. So it comes in the box. Oh, we gotta open this sucker up. See, I have not opened it. I have waited for you guys. Oof, there we go. It says Artful Art School in a Box. This is the Studio Markers Box, premium art supplies with step-by-step tutorials and inspiration for all skill levels. So you may be saying to yourself, I've never used alcohol markers. Do I want a box of alcohol markers? And this would be the box you would say yes to, because it is a art class in a box. It is got projects for the very beginner who's never done this to expert level, but pushing yourself beyond the boundary. It is amazing how much information they give you about this material, and they give you everything to play with it. So if you are looking to expand your horizons and want to try different craft and art supplies, this is a really good one. So with all that, let's get into the box. Oh, that's the other thing. They do tutorials online all year long. So even though this was the September box, next May, April or May, they may throw up a marker rendering or a marker tutorial for you. They've been doing silk screening ones all along, even though I think that was last July's box. So they continue to add classes, even though the materials you've gotten them. It's not a one and done kind of thing, which I think is very cool. And I think it says a lot that you know how many subscription boxes I do. This is the only one that I have continually paid for a year and a half, because I really enjoy getting the box. Let's see, you can upgrade your box because they always have a bonus, like I said. And then they love it if you share your work online. They have a really good support on social media. So that's just explaining all of that. These are the markers. And their products are all private label. I'm sure they're getting them from a reputable art supply company, but if you're thinking you're going to open this up and get Copic markers or very expensive labeled markers, or what's the other one I use? Posca pens, you know, that kind of thing. They go to those companies and then ask them to private label them. All of the quality of the supplies have been excellent, but just be aware that they are private label. So you get this lovely box, and I'm assuming, because Artful goes this way, we're going to open it this way. So what? Let's see if the pens go flying. No, look at that. Oh, wow, that's a lot of pens. So let's say we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 24 pens. On average, a cheap one of these is about $3 to $4. An expensive one is $6 to $7. And we got 24 of them. So that's a really nice value. Let's see, I'm going to get into everything here, and they are dual tipped, which means they have a chisel on one end and a brush, I think, on the other end. There's a big debate, if you don't know anything about markers, but there is a big debate about whether chisel markers are better than brush markers. When I was in college many moons ago, we only had chisel markers. So I learned on chisel markers. And then when I got into drawing last year, I got a huge library of acrylic markers again, and I had some brush tips, and man, they're really nice. So it is, to me, it depends on what you're doing. All right, what else we got in here? And again, this came from England, and it's pretty good shape. I've gotten a couple boxes that are dinged up, but the material inside is packaged so well that you can't, it doesn't damage it. Okay. These are art prints, it looks like, which I have not gotten in boxes in times past. That is really Heidi. That's a really, really cute one. And then we've got this more mature, grown-up looking one. So we're going to put back the frogs because I like the frogs. There we go. So we got art prints with it. I'm going to run out of space on this box. It's a biggie. All right, then we've got marker paper, I'm sure. Oh, wait, no, this is just artist sketch pad. So this is just artist paper. I'm kind of surprised we didn't get marker paper in here. And I'll explain the difference here in a minute. Every package, they send note cards, blank note cards in envelopes. Oh, this is a page. A big thing about markers or any art supplies is you swatch them so you can see what colors you've got. They actually gave us a swatch card for that, so we'll do that. Then we've got the magic book. We got a Pigma pen, you know, just a fine line pen, because a lot of times when you're using these big markers, you will outline with this. And we get a sketching pencil, which I could tell you with all the art boxes I did in 2020 and 2021, every box comes with a pencil. So I have a great collection of pencils. Okay, so that's everything out of the box. I'm so glad to finally open this because it's been here for a while. And let's get into what we've got here. So this, they call it a magazine. It is a book. Talks all about markers. It has tutorials in it, talks about what's in your box, the history of markers, the basics on how to use markers. And then there's like really cool articles about different designers and what they've done with the markers. And tips on how to use the markers. And then again, on their website and on their YouTube channel, they do a bunch of tutorials to also help you. So this little guy, that is actually a step-by-step tutorial to recreate it. And then there's like, you know, the thing about alcohol markers is they're translucent. So you can see the color underneath. So you can create, you know, this different purple by putting the blue, purple, and the pink together. And so you have to remember they're transparent when you're working with them because it does affect your artwork. I mean, those are just so funny. Oh, look at this one. Look at that one. So that is, this is a, you know, an afternoon read. There's a lot in here, but it does have in here somewhere what's in the box. I just have to find it. And as you can tell, I'm telling you I really like this box, but the next one, a sneak peek, if you don't want to know, stop your video right now, but the one that is due to come in January is air dry clay, which should be really fun. Really, really fun. Because now we're getting into 3-dimensional work versus 2-dimensional mediums. I thought there was a thing in here. It told you what was in the box. They also do daily drawing They do daily drawing challenges because I don't know about you, but drawing is something I love to do and I have fun with. But unless you give me a deadline and a due date, I don't ever get it done. All right, I'm filling the video with chatter trying to figure out where's the, here we go. Page 1. And I need glasses. I can't see without my glasses. All right, in your box, you're gonna get 24 Artful alcohol marker pens, retail at 49 pounds, which again is more than our $50. You get the Artful fine liner, which is this guy right here. You get the Artful pencil. You're getting the sketch pad, the magazine, which I'm looking at, over 100 pages of interviews, tutorials, and inspiration. You get the blank greeting cards, and you get a color chart, which is right here, which will chart out the pens here in a second. You got 2 prints from their very own designer. I'm not even going to pronounce that name because I will kill it. And they signed them, and they're really cute. And then it tells you how, I turn to page 80, 83 to see how she made this cute print. And then 6 to 7 for the basics for alcohol marker basics. Okay, so here they're talking about how you can layer the color, how you can apply even color, how you can blend your colors, how you can feather in your colors. Alcohol markers and any kind of art pens, they are better stored on their side. So they talk a little bit about that and how important it is to keep your cap on because it's alcohol, it will evaporate. And they said consider your surface. So let's see what they say here. They gave us mixed media paper because it'll handle the ink. Yeah, because it will bleed through. But having come from a marker rendering background, I always use marker paper, which is much more like a vellum. So it is a thinner paper, but it has like a slickness to it. And I wouldn't say a waxy coat, but it is got a coat so there's something done to the paper so that the ink doesn't always bleed through to the next page. It is more expensive, so I have a feeling that's why we got mixed media paper, but if you truly get into markers, you may want to look at marker paper because I loved doing work on marker paper. All right, so let's see what colors they sent us, and then I will let you go, and you can leave me a comment and let me know, do you want to see more videos about other supplies other than quilting and sewing? Because I am a crafting mockingbird, and I tend to play with everything out there. If it's a new art supply, Heidi wants to try it. So what I like to do when I'm doing my swatching is, let's move all this stuff out because I think it's blocking my light. We're going to keep our little guys there because they're really cute. Get this out of the way. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start swatching these. And so what I like to do is, let's see how they got this set up. They have them by number, they have them in numerical order, but I don't like to do that. Get all of these out, as they go rolling. I like to make, I am like kind of OCD. And I like to put my colors in color order. So my yellows go together, my blues go together, my greens go together. You get the gist. I'm just gonna keep doing this. So then what I do is I like to go from yellow, and I go light to dark, into my pinks and my reds. So like that. Which then go into my purples, which go into my blues, and then finally into my greens, which look like that. And then I would do the neutrals, light to dark, because I actually like to compare the shades next to each other. So I'll do the neutrals last, and we'll do these first. And then what I would do is go through here, and I'm just going to, on the end of each marker, come on. On the end of each marker is a number and a color. So I would write 304 Mimosa. And I'm just going to do that for all of them, but just so you can see all of my art supplies here in the studio, I create a swatch card for. And that way, when I'm working on a painting or a drawing, because I know I have marker ones here too, these are all my paints. These are inks. These are these are gouaches. I can go in here and know what the color is going to look like on my piece before I pull it. Now, do know that colors change based on the material you're painting or drawing on. So make sure you test it on the same paper you're creating your piece on. But anyway, I'm going to go through, I'm going to write all of these, and then I'll come back and show you the colors. All right, so we got all of these labeled up. They left you 8 more spaces because I'm guessing the extended pack is 8 markers. Betcha. But part of the reason I like to swatch everything is, one, it means I've used this art supply at least once to swatch. So it breaks down that barrier of, oh my gosh, I don't want to ruin it, I don't want to mess it up. But it also gives you a better understanding of how the pen works without committing to your drawing or whatever it is you're coloring. You could just do adult coloring books with these. So let's see what we've got. We've got a chisel. It helps if you can see it. You have a chisel end on one side. And you have, okay, so it's not a brush point, it's just a fine line point, which is really nice as well. These are much more like the markers I used in college. The cap does pop on the other side, so you're not going to lose it. There are pens where the cap doesn't do that, and let me tell you, it's really annoying. All right, so the first color here is Mimosa. So let me show you, when you do alcohol markers or regular markers, you want to work quickly so that it's layering while the other piece is wet, and you'll see there's very little streakage in there. But if I wanted to go over it again, you're going to see it gets darker. So you can see my lines. So that is the beauty of alcohol markers, is that they layer really nicely. It is also the drawback, because if you don't work quickly, you will get streakiness, which is why a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like markers, they're streaky. The key is to move quickly and evenly and keep it going in the same direction. And if you watch me do these, you'll see how I'm doing it. This one is called Banana. So we have Mimosa, and then we have this bright, more of a brownie yellow. This is Banana. That is truly, I don't know how well my camera is picking it up. You know what? Let me zoom in for you guys. Oops. In we go. There we go. So there's Banana, and it truly looks banana. And I have to say again, the artful art supplies have been nice quality. You know, they're not top of the line, but they're not certainly not Dollar Tree. They are, you get what you pay for. I did really enjoy the watercolors. I thought they were well done. Sun Glow. This is Sun Glow. They give you a nice variety of color so that you can hit most people's palette taste. Like, I'm a really bright kind of girl. Someone else may want neutrals, so they gave us a ton of neutrals over here. You notice I started with brights. This one here is Orchid. Oh, that's pretty. I like the purpley pinks. So let's show you the first 4 there. Come on. So you can see like the Sun Glow, I was slower, so it streaked a little bit more. The pink, I was getting a little bit faster here. And I did, whoops, come on. I put my hand in there and it doesn't want to focus now. There we go. So the bottom row of the Orchid, I did two swipes, so you can see it's a little bit darker. And you can do that. You can go back and, like, you know, maybe half of this is darker. But again, there is 2 types of markers out there. There are alcohol-based and water-based. There may be other ones, I don't know, but those are the 2 I'm familiar with. Water-based washes out, alcohol-based does not. These can have an odor. I cannot tell you if they have an odor because I cannot smell. But they are laying down on this paper very nicely, very opaque. So that's important. Like, what is your color saturation when you get a marker? Oh, I'm sorry. So this was fuchsia, crimson, and vermilion, which I may have spelt wrong. Or I spelt it the British way. Not sure which. This is lilac. I like that there's an icon on either side so you know which side to use. This is another reason why you store these sideways, because you have ink on each side. So if you store it this way, all the ink's going to keep going that way and this will dry out. So it is important to keep these stored on their side. I do love their packaging. It's like really heavy duty packaging. You feel like you've got something of quality, which hopefully I do. All right, and that was lilac. This is violet. And again, you want to work quickly and evenly, and it just takes practice, but then you can also use the streakiness to your advantage to give your piece texture or movement. It's really up to you, like how quickly you want to do this, but just know, you know, there is a little bit of a learning curve, just like anything else. Okay, so then we did violet, ultramarine, and clements. Whatever that is. Not sure. If you know what clements is, let me know in the bottom in the comments. This is aqua. Ooh, that's pretty. This is like the blue I use all the time for backgrounds on my quilts and stuff. So you may be wondering, you know, what does a quilter need to know this for? Well, this is a real quick and easy way to lay down colors and know if you like the combination before you actually go buy fabric or you make your quilt. It gives you a chance, and there's so many markers out there. You usually can find some that are close to the fabric colors you're thinking of using. So now we've done mint and mantis. I like the name mantis, and I also really like the color mantis. You gotta watch me, I creep off the table all the time. This is teal. Make sure I got the yeah, this is teal. It's funny, you know, put a marker in my hand, I feel like I'm back in college again. This one is holly. Let me tell you, they were strict. You had to make things look like a photograph using markers, and I got really good at it, but now I'm so out of practice because it's been 25 years. All right, this is old lace. So here's a good example. That's what it looks like, and that's the cap. So you do have to always test your colors. The caps are more of a close but not there kind of thing. This one is peachy. This should have probably been up above, but it was in the, again, when I looked at the cap, I thought this was more of a cream, but it's very peachy. So that one should have probably gone up here, but you know, live and learn. It's just a swatch page. It's not the end of the world. This one is called hazelnut. Just makes me want a piece of chocolate for whatever reason. There we go. Oh, that's a nice tan. And then we have garnet. That, believe may or may not know this, but my husband's middle name and my puppy's middle name is both Garnet, but they spell it with 2 T's where the color is 1. Little personal fact there. Then we've got walnuts. Nice array of browns. Those are very nice. And then they give you a sampling of grays. Now, when I was in school, we worked with a ton of gray. We had the gray scale set in cool grays and warm grays, and I think they were just neutral grays. They had a weird name for them. And we had to do all of these renderings, like black and white drawings with grayscale markers. And I loved it because then you're concentrating on the design of what you were working on and not the colors. But I went through so many markers in college. It was an expensive major to take. So then we did walnut, ash gray, and nickel. And last but not least is black, but they call it coal. Whoops. They call it coal. That's a nice heavy black, which is nice. So there we go. Those are the colors that came with my box. I can leave them in here in this nice little case, or I can put them on my wall with my other markers and keep the box for something else. But those are the Artful markers, the swatch page. So that is the Artful Art School in a box. Let's learn about studio markers. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. It's a little off our beaten path, but I would like to share the other 4 boxes I get this year with you guys. I truly love dabbling in other crafts, and I find it just reinvigorates me as a quilter and as a designer to go back to my main medium and what do I bring from it. And this is, again, it's a really fun way to get down color, to see if you like a design for a quilt or whatever you're working on. Let me know in the comments below if you'd want to see me do a marker rendering for you so you could see how they work. And if you are interested in the Artful box, again, I purchased this. This is a personal purchase. It is not sent to me. They don't know about me. But I thought I would share with you guys this coming year all the different things that I stick my fingers in and play with, because I do so many different things, and I think that it's fun for you guys to kind of see it, and then you can decide if you want to jump in with me or not. So with all that said, I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Leave me a comment below, and I'll see you next time.